When we put the words Bible and prosperity together, what's the first thing that usually comes to mind? Probably some well-known ideas, right? Tithes, offerings. But is that really all there is to say about living a truly prosperous life according to biblical principles? What if we looked into some of the less explored corners, ideas that often get overlooked but might hold the key to a fuller, more holistic kind of prosperity? It's not that the usual conversations aren't important, of course they are. But today, the idea is to dig a little deeper, to unearth a few perhaps forgotten treasures about how to build a life that truly flourishes. Let's take a look at 3 biblical principles about prosperity you may not hear much about, but that can make all the difference. Think about that parable of the talents Jesus told in Matthew 25. It wasn't just about money, right? It was about wisely using everything we've been given, our gifts, our time, our resources, whether much or little. Could it be that prosperity starts exactly there, in the wisdom to manage well what's already in our hands? The Proverbs in the Bible constantly speak of diligence, of thinking before acting, of being good stewards of what we have. It's not just about having more, it's about being wise and responsible with the now. How have you managed your time this week? Are your unique talents being used, or are they sitting idle? Starting from there might be more revolutionary for a prosperous life than it seems. We often hear about giving, but what about how and to whom we direct our generosity? The Bible seems to describe generosity that goes beyond duty. It has focus, clear intention. Think about how James describes caring for orphans and widows in their distress. It's a targeted generosity with a clear purpose of relieving specific suffering. Or how Paul speaks about sowing in 2 Corinthians 9, suggesting that our giving can have a ripple effect. Isn't that a deeper form of prosperity? Seeing the concrete fruit of the good we do? A more strategic kind of generosity, in the best sense of the word, thinking about where our help can make the biggest difference, where our little can multiply in impact. How can we be more intentional in sharing what we have? Now, this one might sound strange. Talking about contentment in a conversation about prosperity sounds like the opposite, doesn't it? But here's the thing. The Apostle Paul says in Philippians 4:11-13 that he learned to be content in any situation, whether having much or little. And in 1 Timothy 6:6-8, it says, "Godliness with contentment is great gain." How many people live chasing more and more, never feeling satisfied, always anxious? The Bible seems to suggest that finding this inner peace, this joy and gratitude for what we have today, even while striving to grow, is a massive form of wealth. Isn't true prosperity a combination of outward growth and inward peace? Learning to be content now might be the secret to not becoming a slave to the endless pursuit of more. Can you see how these 3 principles connect? Wisely managing what we have, sharing with purpose to make a difference, and cultivating a content heart in the process. That paints a much richer, more complete picture of prosperity than simply accumulating material things, doesn't it? It's about flourishing in every area of life, in how we manage resources, in the impact we create, and in our inner peace. Looking at prosperity through these less obvious angles, does that shift your perspective at all? Which of the 3 principles, wise management, purposeful generosity, or contentment, spoke to you today? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. And if this reflection brought you a new insight, leave a like so we know this kind of content resonates with you. See you next time.